Hi there, thanks for watching. My name is Christiana and my channel is the Well-Behaved Wallet, where I talk about mindset, motivation, and making or saving money. So in this video I'm going to kind of be addressing the mindset and motivation areas of my channel, because I'm going to talk about the jewelry that I wear and kind of give you the stories and the backstory and the details about how I came to have these pieces and why I wear them and what they mean to me and how they affect my mindset and my motivation. So I'll start with the oldest piece and kind of speak through all of them. So the oldest one that I own is this one right here, and it is a Cape Cod bracelet. It is, I think it's solid silver, that 925 sterling silver. And I got this back in 2004, I think, so that makes it 13 years old. So I'm sorry, that would be 15 years old because it's 2019. So the story behind this is when I was graduating, I had a friend from college who lived up on the Cape, and this bracelet, because I first saw it on her, and I kind of admired like the simplicity, because she's someone that I look to as like kind of someone whose style I can appreciate, and we'd like talk jewelry all the time because we both kind of appreciate nice things. And she mentioned that she had a Cape Cod bracelet, and the story of the Cape Cod bracelet is that it was made by a father for his daughter because he wanted something simple and easy that she could just put on and not think about. So the style is that it's a screwball. And he wanted something gentle that wouldn't hurt her, with no like edges or anything, and he didn't want it to fall off, so that's why it's one continuous piece. And I'll show you how it unscrews. This center piece right here comes out and comes off like that, and then you slide it out. And it's measured to fit your wrist, and it's created so that you don't have to take it off. It's just created to be worn every day. So I love the simplicity and the idea, and I love the story that it was made by a dad for his daughter. So I kind of like knew that it was something that I was looking for. So she was a friend that I'd had for a while, and after I was graduating, I kind of made a choice. She invited me up to come and stay with her, and it was the first like biggish trip, because from New York to Cape Cod is about 5 hours, 4 hours depending on traffic. And she just invited me to go for the weekend, and I was like, I was kind of hesitant because I'd never like gone up on a trip like that. It sounds silly now, but I was like, it took a lot of thinking. Like I was on the fence about whether or not I should go, and I finally thought, just go, you've never been, it'll be a great experience. And so I went, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions ever, because I love the Cape to this day. She's still a friend that I have to this day, and she's really been a really good influence on my life. So I ended up going back to the Cape several times, and that would kind of be like my safety place. Like I would go up there and I would stay with her and her now husband, and they were renting a cottage from his family, and I would just kind of like come there, and that would be like my place where I would go to like think and rest and recharge. And my favorite time to be there actually is off season. Like I don't think I've ever been in on season, which is June, July, or August. I always go either in October for Oyster Fest, or my favorite trip was in February in like the middle of a snowstorm, because her husband's a surfer, and they own a surf shop up there now. And my favorite time was like, he would get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to go surfing, and one time I asked if I could go, and I went with him. He's like out there surfing in the snow, and I like was just hanging out in the car like watching him surf. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was it's just a fun place, and for me that it represents just kind of where I go to grow and rest and recharge. So when I bought this bracelet back, I think it was actually in 2005, because I waited a little bit, I'm always reminded of that sort of the place that Cape Cod is, and how much fun it is to be there, and kind of how one choice can send you on a really great path in your life. So that's what that bracelet means to me, and that's my oldest bracelet. The only annoying thing is when I go through security at the airport, I have to remember to take it off, because it always sets off the metal detector, so I just take it off and put it in my carry-on, and then put it back on when I get through. So that's the only annoying thing about it, but I love it, and it reminds me of that, like makes me think about it. So I'm happy with that. The second piece that I got was this one. This is a hammered gold cuff from David Smallcombe. And he is a jewelry designer based in Michigan. I forget if it's Flint or Ann Arbor, one of the college towns. He's been designing jewelry for 35 years, and these actually, I think, were a big thing a couple of years ago. A couple YouTubers had a whole like stack of David Smallcombe bracelets, and they were really popular. but I just kind of heard the name, and I was just clicking through, because I'm not a huge jewelry person, but again, what I wear is very intentional and well edited. So this piece, actually, I love the curve of it, and the simplicity and the elegance. Again, the fact that this is called a graceful curve, and you can see it's kind of like, it has that sort of simple wave feature to it. And it slides right on. It's super easy to get off when you're going through security. And the reason why I got this was because at the job that I was at previously, I was doing some reading, kind of how to improve when I was getting ready to start that job. I read the book called The First 90 Days by Jeff, I forget his name. Anyway, it's like the whole idea that in the first 90 days you set the course for your tenure. It's like when a president comes into office, the first 100 days, he's judged by what happens in those first 100 days. So the idea being that in the first 90 days, you really want to set the bar high and go on as you need to continue. So that was the first job that I started that I pushed myself, and I gave 110% to that job and to starting well. And at the end of 90 days, I was like, I felt like I'd never performed so well personally in a job, and that was something that I wanted to commemorate. So that's what this bracelet means. And I think it was like $54 total. And then the Cape Cod bracelet was like $70. But I have to say, for the Cape Cod bracelet, there are different, like, it's a knockoff style. So there's the authentic style, which is made by Eden Hand Arts in I want to say Dennis, Massachusetts, and then everyone else knocks them off. But the authentic ones come from Eden Hand. Mine did not, because I didn't know that there were different versions at the time. So this is kind of the authentic ones are like 150, and this was, I think, 70. So it's not super authentic, but it's on my list to go to get an original bracelet. It's like a super long process. You need to have a ticket. You need to go and you need to wait in line. They only take cash or checks, which is probably good. So it's on my list to get there, and they're only open in season, which is ironic because I've never been to the Cape on season, which is why I've never actually been to the store. So that's sort of the additional story there to the Cape bracelet. The third bracelet I have is this one in the middle here, and this comes off like this. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of simplicity. I'm a fan of elegant design, and I'm also a fan of mixed metals, which is why I have the Cape bracelet in silver and then the cuff bracelet in gold. This bracelet right here is both silver and gold. If you can see, it has a silver and then the gold tip right there for the ball. This is a Tiffany bracelet. I did not buy it from Tiffany. It is authentic. It says, I'm looking at it on the inside, it says Tiffany Co. This I bought online on eBay, actually from a gentleman that sells them to fund his teaching work. So with, I think, underprivileged youth in Japan, I want to say, but it's like an orphanage that he runs there. So this I got to commemorate when I started my eBay store, the first $1,000 net sales or gross sales month that I had. So I made $1,000 in 1 month, and I bought this bracelet to commemorate that. And I think in total it was just over 100. I want to say like 110. So this was kind of a reminder that I set a goal and I made it. And actually, how I did that 100,000 or one day, how I did that 1,000 was really interesting because it was really down to the wire. Because when I set the goal, I knew that it was achievable, but I would have to work, and I worked my butt off. Like I was up till 2, 3 in the morning listing because I'm still working my 9 to 5 during this. So I listed, I think I listed from 0 to 200 items in 1 month. So 200 items in 1 month, and the sales were coming in slowly but steadily, and I knew that it would be a stretch to get to that 1,000, but the final sale that pushed me over, I was at like 800, and the final sale was an auto harp, the musical instrument that we had just hanging around the house. We didn't know what to do with it. We never played it, but they're actually worth a lot of money, and I had it listed. I looked at comparable items that had sold, and I had it listed for $300. And that was a final sale that came in. It was like the 28th, and it was a 30-day month. So that sale came in on the 28th and pushed me over into like 100. I think I actually did like 110 or $1,100. So that was a really exciting thing that happened. And I look at this bracelet and I just remember set a goal and keep working. And the forces of the universe will come to your aid. I believe that God comes to your aid when you set a goal with intention and work toward it. So those are my 3 bracelets and the stories behind them. And the final item I'm going to talk about is this cross right here, which some people have asked about and I love. I wish I had more information on it. But the story is that it's just a simple sideways, it's white gold cross. And I bought it because I love that sideways style. I love that it's all sort of one continuous thing and nothing's hanging down out of the way. So that's why I like the style. But the reason why I bought it was it was back in 2016. And so I think it cost maybe $130 because it is white gold, and I like weighed it, and it's like 0.75 ounces. I forget how much, but it was a really good price for being solid white gold. And I was talking with a friend of my mom's, and she was like, we were talking about dating and about men, and I was going through kind of a challenging period. And she advised me, just kind of was encouraging me to get out there and keep looking. And she said, you should have something that identifies you as Christian. And I'm like, oh, because I didn't have a cross at the time. I was like, I should probably look for that. So I went out one Saturday morning, and my mom and I went to Red Bank, New Jersey, just kind of on a whim. There was a restaurant that I looked up. Just wanted to try something new. So we stopped at this restaurant. We had brunch in the morning, and then we were just kind of walking around the town. And we stopped by a jewelry shop, and there was a Star of David that she really liked in like an opal type material. She loved it. So we went into that store, and they had this cross there. And I was just looking, and it's like, oh, that's it. So I asked to see it, and I put it on. And they actually gave us a really good deal for both her Star of David and my cross. So I thought it was just neat that we bought them both at the same time. And I look at it, and I remember also that I'm kind of not announcing to the world, but reminding myself, because every time I look in the mirror, I see it. But also saying that this is something, and my faith is something that is integral to who I am as a person. And this is kind of making that obvious. And it's come up a lot more than I would think, but I mean, it's just natural, because that is the one thing about me that I have no desire to change. So that's what why I wear it and what I think of when I see it. So that is my Milestone jewelry collection, and how it affects my mindset and my motivation, because I look down at them and I think, like, I was able to do these things, and it's just a good marker to remind myself that that anything is possible, and that, you know, for me, here's the proof. So that's why I love them, and that's what I see when I look at them. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know, or if you would like to, I'd love to hear if you have anything that you see every day that you use as sort of like a milestone marker. I think that's so important to commemorate as you go along your journey of life. So thanks again for watching, and I hope that you will keep watching. Bye.